Hello, Duelists. It is officially the end of the month. It is July 31st. It is after 9 p.m. when the ranks reset. This is our King of Games State of the Union discussion here. It is showing the platinum symbol here, but just to show that I'm thorough, we'll jump up in here. And I haven't started playing yet, but here's our King of Games from last month. I actually got it earlier today because I didn't realize that it was resetting so quickly, and time flies when life is chaotic, as it has been. So thank you so much for being patient with me. I know a lot of the recordings I put up have been kind of replays rather than live plays, which I don't enjoy, putting up. I'd rather have the commentary and the comedy of how fun I am, obviously. No, I'm just kidding. But just know the level of entertainment that I like to provide when actual doing recording. But there will be more of that, a lot more of that. And there's already Master Duel content uploaded and um, we'll be seeing right in just a few days, so I'm really excited to bring that to you. But for here, I want to focus on Duel Links and the end of the month, like I said, the King of Games kind of State of the Union discussion. So, the meta this month was a lot more fun. I don't think I'm the only one thinking that. I would assume, let me know what you think, but it was just more balanced. I don't think that the ban list that came out last month did that much. I just think that people maybe they perceived that it did, or wanted to move on to something new. They just wanted to play a different deck and were sick of the way things were because the top tier decks, I played them a fair amount in ranked, but not overwhelmingly like it was last month. Last month it was not in a great place, so I'll just name a few of kind of what I saw. So I'll start from the top. Like we saw our Speedroid, we saw Odd Eyes a ton, and even there were a few builds of the Odd Eyes Orcus deck that were still playable. Really, really powerful. You might have no soul if you play it, but hey, do what you want there. Orcus was still there. There's no, without a doubt, and those decks are just about as strong as they were before. So ban list who? Ban list what? But regardless, Trickstars, which I put out a ton of content on, had a lot of fun playing, really powerful. I didn't play against them often, which I don't totally understand with how powerful they are, but they were floating around. Destiny Heroes I played with. I'll talk a little more about that in a moment. We have our Rocket still, but some of them that were on the rise. So Solomon Great with the newer effect. Saw it a good amount. I didn't think the deck was very good, quite honestly. I don't know if I ever lost to it, but was fairly common. We jumped down. Fossils were definitely back. Can be a really tough deck to play against if you just don't get the right hand to attack it. So cool to see, even if they can whoop your butt sometimes. Luna Light came out at the end of the month. Very, very powerful. We're going to be seeing that a ton next month for sure, and especially with the fusion monsters not being able to be, what is it, targeted, I think, by Spell and Trap, which is ridiculous. If it's not targeted, it can't be destroyed or something like that, but regardless, really, really powerful. Red Eye saw a bit of. Armed Dragon saw a bit of. Again, another deck that I just don't think was very good, quite honestly. Probably played it 4 or 5 times total, and I don't think any of the duels were competitive. All went my way pretty easily, but, it's fun to try out a new deck, and all for it. Crusadia was back, obviously I put out a bit of gameplay there. The deck was a lot stronger by just adding a few cards to it, so pretty cool. Abyss Actors, Gandor Orcust, of course. Anamat had a little bit of action with. Usardic, yeah, was there. Another deck that was more cool than good, I think, but, try something new, fool around with it. Goki, still Goki, is still toxic, it's still really difficult to beat. Even if you have a way of interrupting the chains that they put together, it doesn't even mean that you are going to do well. I mean, you can interrupt a chain even when they get like a link 3 out in the field, and they can still have enough monsters to work their way back up. It's pretty ridiculous. So I always hold my breath when playing against Goki for sure. But again, I've named a bunch of decks here. There's more I can name, like Necroz, a little bit of Chronomaly, some Code Talker, all the stuff like that. Even if some of these decks are tough to play against, you're not just playing against Orcust and Odd Eyes every time, which really enriches the experience. So it was more enjoyable. Let me know if you agree. Now, before I talk about the decks that I played, I want to try to do this where I'm a little more open to, like, if you guys have suggestions of decks that you want to see, let me know. I can definitely, I can't guarantee I get to King of Games with them, but I can definitely play them, get some content out here, show off a good deck for that build, even if it's not something, again, that is King of Games worthy. Like I did Ancient Gears last month. I knew that wasn't going anywhere as far as like ranking up, but you can have your moments where you're beating the top decks and still have fun with it. Playing a, I don't even want to say rogue deck, a deck that's just a little bit outdated but still can be pretty good, like Harpies or something. Um, it's just fun. So let me know. I know there have been requests for Synchrons. I think it was Marco added in the comments a few times around them. Definitely have them on the list for next month. I might place a trap deck, just why not? I think they're just having a little bit of success right now. I might play a little Mech Knights, but I don't know with me focusing on Master Duel for a little bit if I will get to King of Games next month, or if I do, I might just get there early and then focus on Master Duel, something like that. I don't think there's any question that I can get to King of Games. It's been pretty easy to see. But yeah, I think that's where things will be going. But I want to make sure that the content I'm putting out is enjoyable and it's what people want to see. So I love kind of engaging with the community, and let me know what you think there. But now to talk about the decks that I did play, I mentioned Ancient Gears. That deck was a lot of fun. There's some potential if you can put together, the right deck, but it's not anywhere near top tier. You're not going to play it in a competition or anything like that. But a lot of fun. And there were some people that really responded well to it. So super cool. Now, Destiny Heroes, I believe they're tier 3 right now. It was hit or miss for me. It felt like a lot of work and a lot of things to put into chains and to make it work at times. There were moments where the deck was really, really powerful, and there was times where it just felt clunky. Now I've played against them when other people are playing them, and they whoop my butt sometimes, and I didn't have my full kind of 100 duels to get that full assessment, but I did get a really good feel for chaining things together and what you want to do when, and it took a little bit of time, but I like the deck. It just wasn't my favorite. What else? Crusadia. Jumped in on Crusadia. I mean, they can be ridiculously overpowered, but I'm playing it as a Mech Knights hybrid build, which is fantastic at times, and also, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and it's exactly what it is. You're going to get some bricky hands, and when you're just, lacking consistency, it takes a bit more effort to really get to the end goal of King of Games. So really, really powerful deck, but sometimes you feel like you're shooting yourself in the foot by doing those type of things. There are pure Crusadia builds that you can play for sure, get to King of Games with playing tournaments, whatever. But I do like decks where you're playing an engine. You can kind of change things up and things like that. So wanted to keep it at that hybrid level there. Now, Trickstars I had been meaning to play for quite some time. It's funny that they made a bit of a comeback this month. I loved playing with them. It was so much fun, and especially after playing with the Orchest build that I played with last month for the World Championship, I realized how much fun it is to just play with a really hand trap heavy deck where you leave like one monster on the field with 2,000 attack and you have no back row and your opponent thinks you're just a sitting duck. However, your hand is loaded, and you can make them lose in the spot by reducing their monsters, attack to 0 with like White Princess, and then using like a not Cantina. No, the name is running me. But the other Trickstars monster that allow you to boost your attack by the original value, it can get wacky quick, and then also obviously you're draining a lot of their life points with effect damage. So really, really fun deck to play with, and it has a good amount of protection kind of built in. Pretty damn consistent and awesome. Now, I had a lot going on personally, and I will for a little while longer, but I still have content prepared for sure. And with that, I got to the end of the month really quickly and realized that I had not gotten to King of Games, so played Trickstars up until Legend 5, and then went up and down a little bit just because everyone else was rushing to get there too. Swapped over to Orcust because I have no soul either, and got there pretty easily. Um, Orcust is Orcust. I'll show off the deck pretty quickly, in case you're looking for something, in a hurry to get up to top rank there. But there's no real surprises in here as far as the build. Very lean, 20 card, a bit of focus. So we have our typical Orcust monsters. I have 3 Scrap Recyclers, which are limited 3 after the last ban list. So obviously you don't have your limited 3 spells and traps, but you, again, want to be lean here. Orchestrated Babble, so you're just basically playing on your opponent's turn 2, and especially trying to bring Ding out, which is just infuriating to play against because people did it to me all month too. 2 Book of Moons, which some people are playing none, some people are 1. 3 Orchestrated Return. I was playing with 2 for a while, and I dropped, and I think I had 2 Apprenticed Illusion Magicians, dropped 1 for another Orchestrated Return because I was getting a little bit bricky. Because if you don't get, one of the Scrap Recyclers or a Link Slayer or something like that to get the 2 monsters out in the field that you need, um, you can be a little bricky. So the Orchestrated Return allows you to throw one of them in the graveyard, and hopefully that's enough to perpetuate the drawing and then get something activated in the graveyard to be able to get the 2 monsters you need out in the field. Didn't have a ton of trouble leveling up. If you don't brick with this deck, you're probably going to win, and the win percentage is really, really high. Like I said, with Orchestrated Babel, you're playing on your opponent's turn. There's nothing new and surprising here. I'm just glad that it wasn't overtaking the meta like we've seen for so long. The extra deck, so the difference here too is to play on Decode Talker. So what you'll want to do is often go into, if you have enough monsters, bring Galatea out, but if you have a technically a second monster on the field in addition to Galatea, you are then going to link someone into Decode Talker, activate Symbol Skeleton, bring Galatea back out, and then bring Galatea into Ding. If you can, you want to then put Symbol Skeleton as a material attached to Ding if you're not using the Banish effect of Ding. If you're using the defensive one, which allows you to take a Banished monster, attach it. That way, if you need to your next turn, something is targeted, activate Decode Talker's effect, send Ding to the graveyard, and then you can reactivate the attached, or what previously attached, Symbol Skeleton's effect to bring Ding back out, send something to the graveyard, so on and so forth. Really, really powerful combination that a lot of people are playing in the World Championship Regionals last month. But this is still very, very possible and pretty easy to do despite the ban list there. I've talked in length about the ban list, and I'm talking in length in this video, so we're about 12 minutes in. This is how I got to King of Games. I think most of the other decks that I showed it do have kind of deck reviews out here, so look them up. But yeah, request decks if you have interest in seeing something specific. And other than that, this is the state of the meta for monthly in July 2023.